Hello, everyone, and welcome to the webinar today, Hire and Train the Perfect Real Estate Assistant with MAPS coach Monica Reynolds. This webinar is being recorded, and the webinar recording will be sent out today, by the end of the day today, to all attendees and those that missed the webinar. Feel free to share that link from the recording to anyone in your market center that you feel may find this of value. If you have questions for Monica, please type them into the questions box located in your webinar taskbar. Following the webinar, if you have questions, you can email them to fasttrack@kw.com. That's FASTTRACK@kw.com. And that's all for me, so Monica, take it away.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Page, with the great MAPS department at KW. So, this is Monica Reynolds, your MAPS coach, and I'm so excited to talk to you today. And so we're going to draw a line in the sand, and you're going to hire the very best assistant known to man. And you got to draw that line in the sand because some of you on this call have not been hiring correctly, or you're afraid to hire because you're not too sure what to do. So draw the line in the sand, jump over and say, I'm going to hire a great assistant. And we're going to go through 12 steps here coming up. So first of all, thanks for being on today's call. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I've personally trained and helped agents with hiring assistants. I personally trained more agents and assistants than anyone in the country. I've been doing this for over 24 years. I've been in real estate for over 40 years. So with that said, I put together a hiring process about 30 years ago. I guess it's more than that when I think about it, maybe 40 years ago when I first hired my first assistant. And I did everything wrong and wrong and wrong and wrong. And so I hired a friend. Some of you have done that without setting up expectations. You know, I've hired untalented people and didn't do a skills check. They said they could do this and they couldn't do that. And it was like, are you kidding me? I've hired people that are afraid of the phone who literally said to me, I'm not comfortable asking that question. I'm not comfortable with the phone. I'm going, what? Why did I miss this? I've hired people who had a felon. I mean, this person was a felon. They had done something very, very wrong. And I didn't know about that till later. Not a good person to have on your team. And the list can go on and on and on and on. So I'm sure you've made a couple of mistakes, or if you haven't, get prepared. I'm going to take you out of that learning curve so you don't. So I have a 12-step plan that I'd like to share with you. So, Paige, let's move on to the next page. And of course, I'm going to really mention that career visioning is absolutely a complement to what I'm going to share with you, if not the first thing you should do too. And so that career visioning is excellent. I've taken it twice. I'm going to take my third time. It is very, very powerful. Now, with that said, the process I'm going to share with you is something I've done over 30, 40 years ago, and it's still the same process, and it's a very common sense approach that complements career visioning. So with that said, you're going to get a copy of the ad coming up, and I want to talk a little bit about resumes. So you'll see the ad coming up, and so let me just stop right there. The ad, people say, where are you going to put the ad? Where are you going to put the ad? Put it in Craigslist. Okay, some people say, well, that doesn't work. Okay, fine, don't put it there. Put it in Indeed.com. There's a lot of other places, too, that are kind of indigenous to your market or your area, your city, where people post jobs. Put it out there on the internet somewhere. Put it out on Facebook. Put it out to your database. Ask your affiliates is another thing. Can you take this ad? Do you know any place where you could put this ad? Who do you know that's looking for a job? So put that ad out there everywhere you can, all right? Resumes. Now, when you're looking at that, well, of course you're going to get resumes, and hopefully you get a lot because the ad that I'm going to share with you that's in the next couple of slides coming up is an awesome ad I wrote a long time ago, and it's very powerful. It brings people in. They want to work in a place like that. So resumes, you're going to get a bunch, and I want to divide it up into 3 piles. One pile is admin. They have admin experience. They have administrative experience. Number 2, real estate and admin, meaning they've worked in a real estate office. They know about real estate. They worked at a lender's office. They've got some sort of real estate background, not necessarily licensed, but there's a real estate background. That's pile number 2. Pile number 3, I call the Burger King pile. Now, I don't mean that disparagingly. I worked in Kentucky Fried Chicken for 4 years, smelled like a chicken for 4 years while I was going through college. I know these piles. That's the pile that has no admin experience. There's not usually too much of a gem in there, but every now and then you might see something, but maybe not. I'm going back over to look at the pile that has real estate experience. I'm going back over to look at the pile that has admin experience, see if there's something there really powerful. Now, what I'm looking for though too in those resumes, you can't have had you cannot have had more than 2 jobs in 2 years. If you have, I call that a job jumper. I don't know if you're jumping from jobs or you're getting fired from jobs. Doesn't matter. I don't care about the circumstance. I got enough resumes here. I need to look for someone really solid. Now look at number 3, over the phone interview. So here's what I do so I don't waste my time. I'm a high D. My time is so time blocked every 15 minutes, every 30 minutes, every hour. I mean, I am so time blocked every single day. And so when I look at the phone interview, my goal is to catch the assistant, and I call them up and I say, "Hi, Monica Reynolds with Keller Williams. Did I catch you at a good time? I so appreciate you sending in that resume." And if they say, "Yes, I caught them at a great time," I say, "Great, I just have about 3 to 5 minutes of questions I'd just like to ask you. May I ask you a couple of questions?" So write these down. Okay, number 1, I see your resume here. Tell me a little bit about your job history. The reason I ask that is I am looking for someone who can put 2 sentences together, can think off their feet, spur of the moment, and have a conversation with me. I'm also looking for I guess I should start. I'm not looking for that. That's not who I'm going to hire. Okay, that didn't work, that question. So I'm looking for someone who can put 2 sentences together because they're going to represent you. Draw the line in the sand. Only hire someone that's going to be great and represent you. Okay, next question. Describe the perfect job for you. Tell me what the perfect job is for you. And they're going to tell me, and I'm going to go, "Gosh, that's interesting." And I'm thinking to myself, nothing that I'm looking for. No judgment here yet. So what are you the very, very best at? If I was to ask some of your previous coworkers, what would they say you're great at? Okay, number 4 question. Tell me, do you have any hobbies? I'm just curious. What are your hobbies? Now, sometimes they'll say, "I don't have time for a hobby. I've got 2 kids at home." And I go, "Oh, I appreciate that. So you spend your weekends with your children. Lovely, great, blah, blah." Okay, good. Now, this is all I'm doing. And now, based on that conversation and how their voice sounds, and if they have personality, a little oomph to their voice, a little enthusiasm, I didn't call a dead person, I didn't wake somebody up, then I'm going to say to them, the next step is for us to get together. So I'm going to send you a personality disc test. I'd like you to take that. And today is Thursday at 1 o'clock. May I ask you, would you be able to get this back to me on Monday by 12 o'clock? Okay, everybody, pay attention. If it's 12:01 on Monday, I'm not interested. If it's 12:45 on Monday, I'm not interested. What I'm interested in is sometimes I kind of see when it gets back. I've had them come back right away. Boom, that's great. I've had them come back that night. That's great. I've had emails sent to me. "Thank you so much, blah, blah, blah." And I say, this is a personality test. This has absolutely no bearing on you and on your job. It just tells me a little bit about you. Okay, the next slide, Miss Page. We're moving to the next slide. Step 5, office interview. So they come into the office. So you're thinking to yourself, okay, they come into the office. And yes, I'm judgmental. You should be dressed professionally because you're going to be meeting my clients who I charge 6% of the value of their home, and we're dealing with some big dollars. And you need to look professional. And you can't have spiked purple rainbow hair and different things coming out of your nose and ears. That's not going to work for me. Yes, that's how it rolls for me, but that's just my call. Now, in that office interview, they come in, they better be on time. In fact, a few minutes early, 5 minutes early, 10 minutes early, get a few brownie points on that. Now, I shake their hand, and if they hand me that dead fish, oh, that's not good. That's a lack of self-confidence. If they're not looking me in the eye and shaking my hand firmly, Lack of self-confidence. We got some bags we're bringing into the office. I don't know if I want to help this yet person. Now, look at number 6. Now, let me go back to number 5 on the first interview. There's about 15, 20, 30 questions that I ask. And the second I hear something in the first interview that doesn't work for me, or they handed me a dead fish, or they're not looking me in the eye, they're fidgeting, they're looking down, then, I'm really going to say something in the middle of the interview and say, it's been so great meeting you, Sally. Thank you so much for coming in. We'll let you know in a few days what we've decided to do. Thanks again. I cut the interview off. I'm not going to spend an hour and a half trying to see if I can help this person or resurrect him. I drew a line in the sand. I'm only going to have a great real estate assistant. Okay, and so Gary calls that give up thinking if you go on your gut sometimes, but sometimes that's a pretty good way to go. Number 6, they come in for a second interview, and you can go through the career visioning, the life story. Then if you don't know what I'm talking about, you'll have to go to career visioning. The life story is so critical to who they are and how they have been a winner in their life versus victim. I'm looking for someone victorious. I am not looking for a victim. And so the second interview, now all of these questions and everything you're going to get in the perfect real estate assistant. And if you've gone to career visioning, you have a lot of them there. Test the skills. Nobody ever tests the skills. I train more assistants than anybody in the country. And I always say in a class, so did you get your skills tested before you walked in, before you were hired? No. So we all make this mistake. We think we're hiring someone who's got great typing skills, and they don't. So there's all kinds of typingtest.com on the internet. Have them take a typing test. Have them put an Excel spreadsheet together for you. Have them type a letter. Say, I'd like you to type a letter. Dear John, it was great to hear from you. Now, what if they wrote H-E-R-E? There is a house, T-H-E-I-R. Now, these are all wrong. And so if that's how the letter comes back, then we got a problem. This is someone who's going to represent you that doesn't know these things grammatically, or they're going to have typing issues and misspelled words, and they represent you. Not a good idea. Test the skills. Give them a script. Say, read this out loud 10 times, and then we're going to role play a script. Oh, I don't do scripts. Oh, interesting. Tell me about that. Oh, I just don't feel comfortable. I'm not comfortable doing a script. Oh, well, let me see if we can go over this a little bit and see if I can share with you why this is important. Now, if they're not going to come around, then that's that. They're draw the line in the sand. They don't get to work for you. References. Okay, so in career visioning, thank you. I never knew before to go 3 levels deep, but I did, when we did our ABAs and things like that, I knew to go 3 levels deep. I'd never thought of that. And and the mistakes I've made when you call references, you call family and friends. Absolutely no family and friends. So make sure that reference list is not family and friends. And then I very easily say on the first reference after I've talked to them, I'll say, so let me ask you a question. I have to talk to one more person. Who else would I be able to talk to in that office that would be important for me to say hello to and ask a few questions? Just go 3 levels deep. Every time I've gone to that 3rd level, I have found out stuff that's really good or really bad. So be careful about that. Okay, next page, Miss Page. Okay, so number 9. So if you have other team members, you want them to meet and greet this person that you are thinking about hiring. This is called a team decision instead of you just saying, oh, here's your new listing manager, or here's your new director of operations, or here's your new sales manager, here's your new buyer agent. Bring them into the community. You guys are a group. Together, each achieves more. You decide together. You meet and greet together. So each person can have 10 or 15 minutes with that person, maybe on the 3rd interview. Then you come in and you go through the job description line by line by line. The job description is not a wish list. It is a training checklist, which all comes in the perfect real estate assistant. We give you lots of examples, etc. We also show the 30, 60, 90, which I'll be showing you here in a few minutes. We go over the schedule. The schedule, they have to be available the hours you are. It just absolutely blows my mind when an agent says to me, well, my assistant doesn't come in till 1:30 to 4:30, and then, I'm gone in the afternoon, we never get together, I go, why do you have her come in at that time, or him? What's the problem there? They have to adhere to the schedule and be available the times you need them. So I go through the schedule, draw a line. They have to be available the times you need them. Offer letter. So there's an offer letter. You've got them signed up on the job description. You show them the schedule, and then you say, here's the offer letter. Here's what I'm willing to pay you. Here's how you make extra money. Here's how you make bonuses. And these are the reviews. You get paid X amount for this. You get paid this amount if you bring in a referral. Have it stated in there, and also tell them the days you pay them. So, for example, you're going to pay for 6 paid holidays, which are New Year's Day, Christmas Day, Thanksgiving, Memorial Day, Labor Day, and 4th of July. If you notice, I didn't follow the Keller Williams Market Center. I didn't pay for Martin Luther King. We're going to work that day. I didn't pay for Flag Day, President's Day. We're going to work that day. And I do pay for those other days. Okay, next page, Miss Page. Okay, so when you look at the next page here, is that there's a 30, 60, 90-day plan, which is in career visioning, which I had the opportunity and the privilege to put together for career visioning. And so these are very, very attainable goals. And so when you hire your first assistant and you've only got one assistant, you need a 30, 60, 90 that makes sense. So let's go to the next page. I want to go through the 30-day first. And so based on this, on the 30-day goal, the phone's the cash register. They've got to answer the phone professionally, be able to transfer calls, pick up voicemails. Now, some of you are going, well, I have my phone on my sign and all the calls come to me. Really? Call Keller Williams and see if Gary Keller picks up the phone. He's not going to pick up the phone. He's running a business. When are you going to have a business and be a leader? Get that phone number, give your assistant the cell phone. So people say, well, I don't know what to do. Okay, go get a new cell phone. Don't tell anybody your number. I was selling 200 houses a year. No seller ever had my cell phone. It was never on a business card. Never. Okay, make sure they understand if a potential buyer or seller call comes in. Make sure they know how to communicate correctly on voicemails. The biggest pet peeve I have is I'll call an office and I'll ask for, John blah blah, and I'll get the voicemail and it says, hi, this is Sarah. I'm not available right now. Leave your message. And I go back to the front desk. I said, you transfer me to Sarah. I need John blah blah. And they go, well, that's his assistant. And I go, well, she didn't say it in her voicemail, so now I got to go back to that. Teach them how to handle a customer who's upset. I only want to speak to the agent. I've got a problem. How about database? There is the next thing that's the most important thing in your office. That's your only asset. It's not a Louis Vuitton bag. It's not a Lexus car. It's none of that. It is your database. They have to know data entry. They have to know how to track that database, getting completes, name, address, phone number, and email of the husband and the wife, and understand that the value of that database is your career. It's your business. And they have to know how to absolutely make sure it is in tip-top condition and perfect, sending out emails, managing the videos, etc. How about the next one? Start them out with the listing process. Start out simple with the pre-list package. Show them how it's done, teach them how it's done, make sure they know how to do it, MLS entry, photo editing, customer conversation, seller feedback. Go through that whole list, asking for referrals, asking for, reviews. And I teach that in the assistant training class, that anytime somebody says something great, you strike and you say, oh, thank you, Mr. Johnson, so much. We really appreciate that nice comment. May I ask you a favor? Our business is based on great reviews from someone like you. Can I send you a link? It'll just take you a couple of minutes. Would you give us our team a 5-star review? We would so appreciate that. Hey, strike then. You don't wait till the listing's sold. When they say something great, go for it. Next page. Okay, 60 days. What should they be doing at the 60-day goals? All right, now you start introducing the closing files. Now remember, phone, database, listing. Don't go any further than that. Now it's closing file, It's tracking numbers, and it's lead generation, maybe like sending out a letter or maybe start tracking some incoming calls, numbers, etc. But remember, it's closing files. This is where it's the dessert. This is where you build a client for life. This is where you really have to make sure that that assistant is trained correctly. This is where you're going to get repeat and referral business. You could have sold that house, took that listing, did, $300, $500 worth of photos, unbelievable sunsets, sunrise, whatever, got them $50,000 over ask price, multiple offers, and you goof up the closing, they don't remember any of that. In fact, they go tell 10 people not to use you, and they forgot the fact that you did all that other stuff for them. Tracking numbers and sources of business, I make sure that in every single call that they understand that that seller is paying 6% of the value of their home. Whether you're getting all 6% or not, they signed a contract that said 6%. And so what we have to do is make sure that these great assistants that represent you are respectful and know how to make that client feel extra, extra, extra important. Make me feel important is on everybody's forehead. And that 6% of the value of their home, they are paying that for over-the-top customer experience. Okay, next page, Miss Page. A lot of pages there. Page. Page 90-day goals. Okay. All right. So at the end of 90 days, one assistant, when you're starting off with your first assistant. Now, if you're building a team, we break all these things out. They should have been introduced to the marketing and being able to do that, Facebook, etc., putting it on websites, all listings, all pendings they take care of, database. They've got the phone and scripts down. They're tracking weekly numbers. They're goal monitoring, the 15th protocol of the month. And you're going, well, what's that? Well, that's just going to make sure that your assistant is going to be so great that they're going to put the numbers in front of you each week. And on the 15th, if you aren't at the halfway mark of the goals of that month, they're going to show those to you and say, gee, what should we do about this week so we can get back on track? How can I help you? Who can I get on the phone for you? Can you imagine if you drew the line in the sand and said, I'm going to have the best assistant ever that's going to care about my business and want the success for the team? Okay, so maybe this assistant now has one or two lead generation systems that they're helping you with. I didn't say necessarily picking up the phone and calling. I said maybe working on the letters or something like that, or pulling all the numbers together. And yes, eventually the assistant can start calling the database. If they're not licensed, I've got scripts for that. If they're licensed, I've got scripts for that. Okay, and each thing is then dated. Okay, next page, Miss Page. So there's the ad. You should be an organizer, a positive person, a good communicator, both written and verbal, have excellent computer skills, have a good sense of humor, be a fast learner with a quick mind, and be willing to work hard and smart. You'll work in a fast-paced real estate office in blank. We offer an exciting atmosphere and people-oriented business. So when I started my career out when dinosaurs were walking around, I wrote this ad. We didn't have computers then. We didn't even have fax machines. However, that ad still pulls today. So you may want to break it down, shorten it up. Do not give out your phone number. Do not put who you are in there. Be patient. They will come in. They will respond to that. You want them to email their resume. And you're going to look at the quality of the resume. If it's neat in appearance, makes sense. And there's so many, programs that they can buy on the internet, put it in there, and it looks great. Hopefully they had enough sense to do that. Okay, next page. Okay, so pass the baton. So I wanted to share something with you that is one of the biggest mistakes that agents make when they hire an assistant. They think that they are mind readers. So when you list a property, there may be a situation where that seller is not happy. They lost their job. They have to sell their home. There's an illness in the family. Someone's very sick. They got to pay medical bills. They can't afford the home anymore. They're being transferred, and they don't want to go. Their kids are in high school in California, and now we're going to Mississippi. Not that Mississippi's bad, but it's not California, and the kids are going, I don't want to go. I'm in high school. I'm going to leave my friends. So we got to know the motivation and if they're happy or sad. because you just don't want Mr. Happy or Miss Happy from your office calling with energy and enthusiasm in a very, very bad divorce situation. Say, hi, Mrs. Johnson, we're so happy to help you sell your home. Miss Johnson's not happy to sell her home. She's not very happy at all. In fact, she's really upset about her husband and where he's living with his girlfriend right now. So that's not a good idea. So we're going to go in there slow and gentle. Date to go on the market, the loan balance, if there's any HOA. Now remember, I'm not expecting you high Ds to fill this out. I would never fill this out. I've never filled one out in my entire life. However, my assistant was trained to say, you can't drop this file off until you spend 5 minutes with me. And I go, I'm in a hurry. I'll tell you about, nope, not going to process it. So I teach your assistants not to process until they've had a 5-minute or less conversation. They fill this out. Are they a buyer? Yes. Okay, great. What agent is going to be assigned to help them? Is there a termite inspection? Maybe not in your area. Lockbox, showing instructions, professional photos. Let's go to the next page. Page, we're going to have to do something about that name. Page. Okay, just listed letters, flyers, brochures, seller relocating, referral agent, name of agent, pets. Oh, now there's a good one. Here's customer service, ladies and gentlemen. So, may I ask you a question? Are there any pets on the premise? Now, that is just stupid. If an assistant says that and you have not mentioned about Tank, the 250-pound Rottweiler that has his own couch that watches TV all day long, doggy shows, and he has his own bedroom. It's their child. So that the customer experience would be, that's customer service, customer experience. Wow, I hear you have an amazing family member named Tank. I'd really like to meet that guy sometime. He sounds very cool. Now that's customer experience. Do you have any children? Well, yes, we have 3. They're soccer stars at the school. You know, wouldn't it have been nice if Monica, me, had mentioned that? So these are mistakes I've made, and I fixed it with checklist. So with this, my assistant says, I understand you have 3 amazing sons that are soccer stars. That's so great. And I understand their names are John, blah, 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 and ages, blah, blah, blah. Is that correct? Great. Now, see that part down there? So obviously, I can't have, them take a KPA. Wouldn't we love to give our sellers a KPA? However, I can tell by how they talk and how they act when I'm at a listing presentation, when I'm pre-qualifying, what their personality style is, so that my assistant speaks in their language. If they speak driver, get to the point fast. If they're C, got to have your facts and figures and be ready to slow it down. If they're high, got to have a lot of energy, enthusiasm, be excited. Yes. Okay, so you need to tell the assistant what language do they speak so that they can be versatile. So draw the line in the sand. You want someone that's versatile. If you hire a high C assistant, which is great, they got to be showtime when it comes to the call. Got to be showtime when it's time to talk to that client if they're a high S. Okay, next page, please. So when you look at this page, so some of the things that are going to just drive everybody nuts. In the training that I do, I teach the assistants how to time block. There is no reason that an assistant can't make an outgoing call to that listing every single day. And some of you are going, what? Call every day? What would they say? Oh, I got 21 days of scripts for them. It'll be fine. And most of the time, 50% of the time, they're not going to get them. However, if you make the outgoing call because they're paying 6% of the value of their home, then they're going to feel comfortable. The trust bridge is built. They walk across the trust bridge. They don't call you because they know you got their back. They know you care. They know that you're on top of the files. So the first week that they're listed, there's 4 or 5 emails. I give all that information. I give the scripts. There's some things that are sent out by mail. Does that client feel they made the right decision? Because I guarantee you, as a listing agent, that seller doesn't high-five his wife or her high-five her husband, whatever, and say, wow, we got the right agent. They look at each other and go, I hope I did the right thing. And now the test starts. Because you left there, you said, I'm not telling you the price it's going to sell for sure, or the day, or the next showing, or how much money you're going to net, and I can't tell you what day to start packing boxes. We've told them nothing. We just said we're going to go sell it. And, oh, by the way, stay tuned. Yeah, I think they're a little concerned. So we're going to over-the-top customer service them. Next page. This page thing is crazy. All right. Week 2. Assistant to call and review MLS and disclosure, check for mistakes, must have back in 3 days. What? Okay, so with all of these things and email links to websites and things like that, these are call. Look at number 6. Call every day. Call every day. Now I go through this line by line by line, and I get the assistant to absolutely understand the power of doing this. And some will say, "Well, I don't know if I have time to call them all day." How many files do you have? 6. Well, really? That'll take you less than 30 minutes because half of them won't be there. Well, I don't know what to say. Great, I'll give you the script. Next page, everyone. See, it's so great when you build the right team with the right assistant, the customer experience, and ultimately repeat and referral business. So when you make a bad hire, it's 3 times their salary. I just read that in a book. If you make a great hire, just think of the possibilities of the growth. Just think of it. All right, week 3. CMA sent out. We're getting a price reduction on week 3. Now, I know your markets are red hot, and everybody I coach and everybody I talk to is like, oh, my gosh, it sold in a day. Oh, my gosh, we had multiple offers. Okay, good. Get ready. Some of those houses, you didn't list at the right price because you let the seller run the show. And so when that happens, you got 3 weeks to get that home sold. So you give them a new CMA, and I give the whole price reduction system out in the class. Okay, next slide, Miss Page. Okay, so we're getting toward the end here. And so here's a couple of things. Now, it starts June 5th at 1 o'clock Central, which is 11 o'clock Pacific, 12 Mountain, and 2 Eastern. The calls are recorded. They're live, but we record them. So I'm one of the few group calls. I am live. You can talk to me every single time. I show up the call with Katie Kosich and Stephanie. I've got my whole team on the call. They're live. I make the call happen. Now, with that said, those calls are recorded. And if you miss a call, the first call every month is for agents to teach you how to be a great boss. The second and third call of every month is for the assistants. And so I want you to be a great boss, and I can help you with that on call number 1. Plus, I teach you what the assistants are going to learn. So ultimately, you end up with a 450-page policy and procedures manual. Do not invent systems. I've got them all. I've either written them or I've stolen from the top agents and made them even better. So take what I have. Don't reinvent the wheel. And what's so great about that, whether you're doing 25 deals or 225 or 825 deals, I've coached them from all the way up to 2,000 deals a year. Here's the deal. The systems you put into place are duplicatable and scalable. If you don't have the systems down, you can't build your business. You're reinventing the wheel all the time. So this class is about building systems. It's about building a great team. It's very, very important, laying your foundations correctly. So what else? Okay, Paige, I'm going to open it up for some questions. And so how did they put some questions in? And I know you have a few already, I can see.
Yes, so the first one is, so what do you say when the person doesn't pass the phone interview? I guess an example of the email or call that you made.
They don't pass the phone interview? I say, well, thank you very much for your call. I appreciate speaking with you. I'll be in touch in the next few days. Boom, I send them an email. Thank you so much. We filled the position. We appreciate you applying. Done.
Awesome. So do you recommend hiring family?
Never. Pay them to stay away. Okay, so if you happen to want to build a family business, I learned this from Dan Cathy, and he is the owner of Chick-fil-A. And when I heard this, I said, that is gold. If you have a family member that wants to join your team, and that can be a great thing. I mean, I see lots of family businesses that are awesome. However, listen to what he does with his mega empire. He has his family go out and work somewhere else for 2 years. Go work somewhere else for 2 years. Then come back and apply. And you want to apply because you want to be here more than anything else in the world. And plus, he said, they go out and make some mistakes out there. It's not on me. So and I thought, gee, that's a great idea. So if I had anyone of my family who wanted to work with me, then I'd say, go out and be a real estate agent for 2 years somewhere else. Then come back and we'll see if we can build a team together. Let them go understand how hard it is and how hard you have to work. I was just on a call with an agent today, and his son is 26 years old, and I said, "What time did you get into work today?" And he said 9:30. And his dad was on the call too. And I said, 9:30? Are you practicing dying? I said, on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you about real estate? And he said a 6. And I said, okay, watch this. So I said to the dad, that was my kid. I tell him to take the next 2 weeks off, go think about what you want to do, and come back when you want to be a 10. And that's it. Okay, next question.
Okay. Dodie asked, if all of the agent's calls go to the assistant's phone, how do you cut those calls off at 5 p.m. end of the day?
You don't answer it. You have a voicemail on there that says, thank you for calling. Our business hours are from 8 to 5. We will answer your call promptly tomorrow morning. This is a business. So, Paige, let me ask you a question. What happens when somebody calls Keller Williams after 4:30?
It goes to my voicemail, and I call him back the next morning.
Gee, brilliant. I can't believe Keller Williams does that. Okay, good. Just kidding around, everybody. Have fun. Okay, what's the next question?
If I am a new agent, do you suggest I hire a marketing assistant before hiring an admin assistant? When is the perfect time to hire my admin assistant?
Perfect time to hire your admin assistant is when you're asking about it. And so with the way commissions have grown over the years, Gary Keller wrote an MREA book after I had written my couple of books, and he and I both agree to the same, basically, and that is when you're about 35 to 45 transactions, you should be looking at hiring an assistant, full-time at 45, part-time 30 to 35. And you can hire someone to do marketing, but first of all, I always go, what is marketing? Is that Facebook? Is that website? What is marketing? So I'd have to get some clarity on that. To me, I would hire an assistant part-time, and when you look at paying someone $15 an hour for 20 hours a week, what is 15 times? That's $300 times 4. That's $1,200 a month. Surely, if you had that extra 20 hours a week back, you could list or sell a property once a week. So that's a heck of a return, Okay? All right, next question, Paige.
Okay. What is the difference between this program and the new Perfect Operations Team program, and which do I sign up for?
Oh, you know what? Thank you so much for that. All right, so the Perfect Real Estate Assistant class is laying the foundations. It's for you, the agent, and the assistants. It's a 6-month class. It's 190. What is it? 195 page? I've forgotten. 199.
$199 a month. Yeah.
$199 a month.
6 months.
And you get a $100 discount today if you jump on the website, and I'm sure you're going to share with them where that link is somewhere here. Okay.
Yes.
So with that said, building all the systems from the listing to customer service to pendings to social media stuff, we go through everything in this class. Lead generation, all of these things with the scripts, laying the foundation to put the systems in place. Now, the next step is that when you're building a team, it's called the operations team. You have a listing manager, you have a transaction manager, and you have a director of operations. So it's for the person that's getting ready to hire their next assistant, or they have one assistant now who will be doing the next hire, and how do you divide the jobs up? So we take the listing manager and we go deep into the listing manager, everything that listing manager should be doing. Then we go deep into the transaction coordinator, really deep. So we're going strong in these calls, like a few things I shared, but we're not going really deep because there's so much other things that we have to do besides we're building a book of business. We're building a policy and procedures manual of 450 pages. Then one of these people will be going into learning to be a director of operations to run what we call the hub. And so this is an operations team. So when you have one assistant and you're growing your team, this is a perfect call. If you haven't gone to the Perfect Real Estate Assistant yet, you must do that first. You have to have the foundational pieces because you'll get completely lost of where we're going when we go deep. And so you've got to have those foundational pieces. Okay? Hope that answered the question. Paige, where do they sign up?
I posted the link in our chat box, so I'm going to repost it, and then you can click that link directly, and it will take you to our website, mapsgroupcoaching.com, and you'll scroll down to Perfect Real Estate Assistant, click more information, sign up, and then use the code WEB100, or just click the link directly in your chat box.
Perfect. Okay. Any other one more question?
Is a virtual, here's one more. Is a virtual assistant a good idea?
Yes and no. Okay, so in my personal opinion, a virtual assistant is great for marketing, for database, for working on flyers. They're behind the scenes people. You can't turn around to an assistant and say, hey, can you pull this number up for me? Hey, can you put a pre-list package together for me? So you miss that one-on-one. However, there are certain things that a virtual can do for you. You just don't have that immediate one-on-one reaction back. Okay, so with that said, draw the line in the sand. Tell yourself that this is the best career in the world, and you guys know it is. It's unbelievable. Hire a great assistant. Invest in their training. Invest in their education. Take it to the next level. Be powerful. Make this the best year ever. I guarantee you these classes are great. I have a lot of fun on the classes, as you can obviously see. I don't make them boring. They're live calls. You get to talk to me. We have 15 minutes of Q&A. Love to hear from you. You guys got my email. It's monica@monicareynolds.com. If you have any comments, can't figure out how to sign up, you can reach me at monica@monicareynolds.com, and I'll do everything I can to help you. So thanks, everybody. Appreciate it, Paige. You were awesome. Thank you for flipping the pages, Paige. I appreciate that. All right? Thanks, everybody. Have a great week. Sign up. Love to have you on the calls. Bye-bye.